Jason Staten.
James at home. Yes, indeed.
On Sports Radio 1450 WSMG. Green.
Jordan Rogers will go to the stripe for the Pioneers and rattle in her first of the two shots. A minute 43 left here in this basketball game. Pioneer team last week against number four in the nation, North Georgia, number 6 in the nation. Lander went 1-1 last week. Rogers missing the second. Rebounded by Newberry. Tusculum leads 67-59. Newberry into the front court. Davis on the right wing. Watched by Rogers. Gets a screen. Goes right to the rim around Sherman and Rogers. Missed the layup. Rebounded by Belton. Belton steps through a triple team and gives it up to Dixon. Dixon will have it with 1:20 to play in the basketball game. Dixon, work over by Roberts. And Dixon will back it out near the midcourt stripe. Roberts, their leading scorer on the year, just 5 points tonight. Dixon on the right side, driving into the paint, and will be whistled. Well, actually, it's a foul that will go against Bongiorno. And 2 more shots for Bree Dixon. Bongiorno will foul out of the game. They knew it was coming, so she'll foul out of the contest as Bree Dixon will go to the stripe for this Pioneer team. 5th in the conference in minutes played last year, Bree Dixon. That's another thing you missed here in the first 10 games of the year without the honorable mention all-conference. 10.5 points, just under 6 rebounds, just under 3 assists per game a season ago. Knocks in her first of the 2. A career 68% free throw shooter. Last year, though, hit 71% from the stripe. We'll make both. 69-59. Tusculum again by 10. Newberry had cut it to 2. It is as close as they have been all game. Davis a 3. Rainbow is no good. And the rebound comes down to Newberry. Skip pass right side to Davis. Down the lane, we'll kick it out. This will be Cronin for 3. That one's short and no good, and Belton grabs the rebound. Maya Belton grabs another, a 17-point, 15-rebound game for Maya Belton. Dixon will take off into the paint. We'll kick it out to Arnwine with 35 seconds to play. And likely, well, Pioneers will just have the opportunity to dribble it out, but they can't as Roberts comes up with the steal on Arnwine. And now 25 seconds to play, and Coach Joanna Tinch went, oh, wait a minute, let's call a timeout. I have one left. So she calls the break and will be the final timeout for the Newberry Wolves. But more on Maya Belton and what she has been able to do. 18 points this season, her season high. She had a 25-point game a season ago against Mars Hill where she just went ridiculously good from three-point territory and hit 5 of them twice. And in rebounding, a new career best for her in rebounding, completely a career best. 11 rebounds was her season high, and she had done that already 3 times this season. Had a 12-rebound game against Johnson and Wales a season ago. But Maya Belton tonight, 17 points on 7 of 14 shooting, and she scored, 12 of that here in the second half, as she scored the team's first 9 points in this second half. Again, with that 15-rebound career best game to this point. And she's been doing that in foul trouble much of the night. She picked up her 4th personal foul coming up, say, about midway through the third quarter and came in early here in the 4th. Meanwhile, the return of Bree Dixon has her leading all scorers with 19 points and is running the Maddie Sutton sets, if you will. Missing Maddie from last year, Bree Dixon has been playing that 5 position as a true point guard, really. She's been playing the 5 tonight, and they've been putting the... and they have been actually getting back into the paint. And now the Pioneers are going to call a timeout right after the Newberry timeout. As Coach Price with 25 seconds, I guess, wasn't done talking. You know, lots of times you get into a huddle and I suppose you just want to talk and you didn't get your point across and that pesky horn sounds. So you just burn another timeout. I'm sure that's what all that happened. 19 for Dixon. 17 for Belton and 16 for Arnwine. And Newberry tonight gets 16 out of Stolberg and a 10-point effort out of Wisely that's all come basically here in this second half. Newberry made a great effort as they cut the lead down to 2 at 57-55 and had a shot for the tie, but it wouldn't go. And a whistle for a foul as Dixon catching it just outside the paint, and the foul will go against Roberts. So that'll be her second. Into the game will come Virgo and Davis. As out of the game, the defensive specialist, Erica Reed, along with Ella Pearson, will exit. Three-point shooters back in. Paraha is back in as well. Dixon at the stripe, making the first. Giving her 20. Obviously a season best in her first game. Giving her 21. One shy of her career best of 22 she scored against Carson Newman. A turnover on Paraha. And the Pioneers with it in 15 seconds to play. Coach Tincher says do not foul. It is 6 of the last 7 that Newberry has lost. The Pioneers will get the win, just their second conference win of the year, but a big-time return for Bree Dixon and a big-time win for the Pioneers. They get the final home win pre-Christmas. They'll go on the road to take on the Lenormand Bears and the Wingate Bulldogs Saturday and Monday. For those in Newberry, South Carolina, we appreciate you tuning in. You'll be joining us for the second game of our doubleheader. We'll chat with Pioneer coach Megan Price coming up. Then we will have our news between games, which is an approximately 5-minute break. So an extended break here for you may return you to your regular programming for a moment before we bring you men's basketball. That'll be coming your way here in just a moment as the Pioneers take on Newberry in game number 2. So just letting you know for our station WKDK down the line what's happening here. Our post game with Coach Price, our news between games, and then our coverage of the second game on the way. Your final score here of game number 1. Tusculum 71, Newberry 61. So we welcome you into Pioneer Arena here tonight for Tusculum and Newberry. And again, a Newberry team that is riding about as high as you could get. They have won 4 consecutive, and really a win against Carson Newman, a team that was really going to come in and very likely compete for a conference title this year. So you got to believe that Newberry feels as if now they could compete for one. And with Jason Taylor as your head coach, I'd believe that. I'd buy into that because that's basically about where they have gone from Newberry. They've been always very competitive. They've been a very difficult team to contend with year in and year out, but they are definitely very different with Coach Jason Taylor, and they have always just been flying to the rim, flying to the defensively, and it'll be difficult tonight. Pack line defense, Pioneers better start hitting from outside. Here's your starting 5 for the Wolves at 4-5 on the year. They've won 4 straight. Marcus Ford, the 5'10 senior out of Eatonton, Georgia, out of Denmark Tech. TJ Brown, the 6'4 junior out of Columbia, South Carolina from Dreher High School. Malachi Stremlow is a 6'8 center out of Traverse City, Michigan, by way of Cane Bay High School. A freshman, played last year but got that year back, right? Malik Joseph, the 6'3 freshman out of the Bahamas from Southside Christian School, and Quandavian McCollum, a 6'6 junior out of Clio, South Carolina from Marlboro County High School, leading this team so far this season. Coached by Jason Taylor, and again in his third year with Newberry, his 12th year overall. For the Pioneers, in his 10th start of the year, the only player for the Pioneers to do that is Justin Mitchell, the 6'5 junior from Lexington, Kentucky, out of Frederick Douglass High School. KJ Crump, the 5'7 true freshman out of Clarksville, Tennessee, by way of University Heights Academy in Kentucky. Jacob Hobbs gets a start tonight, the 6'7 junior out of Elizabethtown, Kentucky, out of Lipscomb University by way of Central Hardin High School. Brandon Mitchell, the all-time shot blocker in school history, in the starting five tonight, the 6'7 graduate out of Virginia Beach, Virginia, from Salem High School. And Trenton Gibson, the Conference Player of the Year and the President's Award winner from a season ago, the 6'4 graduate out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee, by way of Blackman High School. Yeah, a graduate. He still has a year of eligibility if he wants it, but very likely won't need it. So here is the opening tip, and it's going to be won by Brandon Mitchell of the Pioneers, and we're underway as KJ Crump into the front court fires a three, and it's good. Right out of the gate, we continue a streak as well for this Pioneer team from three-point territory, and the true freshman is not shy about anything. The streak now is 242 consecutive games, and that's 953 out of the last 954 from three-point territory. Pioneers lead it 3-0. They go inside the paint. They're going to pound it to McCollum, who will put it up and in and make it a 3-2 game. They will pound the paint. They won't try to run us off the three-point line. They're going to pack the line, and Hobbs will fire a three. Bang! Jacob Hobbs will knock down a three for the Pioneers. And I don't know that you can stay in a pack line defense. What Newberry plays is they believe that you are not going to consistently continue to make shots from three-point territory. Whether you believe that or not, that's how they play it. Newberry inside the paint. This ball is knocked out of bounds, and it'll be last touched out of play by the Wolves and T.J. Brown. Our referee is Kenny Pate. Austin Reeves, Grant Tyler, our assistants. Brian Staten courtside, game station engineers, the executive producer of the Pioneer Sports Network, Nathan Humber. We welcome our friends from down the road in Newberry, South Carolina at WKDK, Jimmy Coggins. Gary couldn't make it. His daughter is going to have a baby at any moment, wants to be there and be a part of that. So we're glad to bring you the broadcast tonight here from the Pioneer Sports Network. 6-2 Tusculum, leading very early with 5 seconds on the shot clock for Mitchell. Here's KJ Crump. Crump off the dribble, a three, fading away is no good. Hobbs tips it once, twice. Brandon Mitchell goes up and grabs it for the Pioneers and elevates with that baby hook shot that's no good, but the rebound by Newberry, Stremlow. Stremlow will grab it and get it into the hands of Marcus Ford, who will take it across the midcourt stripe. Ford onto the right side to T.J. Brown. Brown at the top, watched by Justin Mitchell, and then KJ Crump came late, tried to rip it away from Ford, and it's going to be whistled for a foul. So KJ will pick up his first and the team's first. 18-11 to play here in this opening half, and the Pioneers up 6-2. Newberry on the inbound. Baseline front court is Malik Joseph. Joseph with it, and will lob it. Now another backdoor look. That Princeton-style offense is up and good, and it's a 6-4 game as the bucket is made by Malik Joseph. Joseph with it, with Trenton Gibson defending him. And again, it's that backdoor cut against the man-to-man. And this is something you couldn't do against Tusculum last year with Coach Burton. He always ran that 2-3 zone. Left side front court, Jacob Hobbs. Inside-outside game to Trenton Gibson. Bang. Gibson knocks down a three, which is what he's definitely improved. If you can improve as the player of the year from a season ago, it's definitely been his range and his three-point shooting. 9-4 Tusculum. All their field goals have been from around the perimeter. Left side front court with the basketball. This is Newberry on the baseline left side, and this will be about a 17-foot jumper by McCollum is no good, and the rebound comes down to the Pioneers. Justin Mitchell racing it into the front court, and he'll throw it out of bounds. He turned it over and could have gone the easy route to Trenton Gibson. But Mitchell, who would make a great middle linebacker for some football team, sometimes I'm not sure if he realizes just how strong he is, throws it out of play. It will be Newberry basketball after the Pioneers turnover. Tusculum is off to a great start, 3 of 5 from the field, but Newberry's 2 for 4. Nearly fumbling it away, and they do. Turnover and a long pass up ahead. Mitchell tries to grab it, does, and now can the Pioneers keep it? They do. Mitchell probably have thoughts of just rocking that rim. Now a backdoor lob for Hobbs. It's knocked away by the Wolves, and the Wolves get the turnover. Into the front court will be Ford. Left side 3 is off the mark, no good, but an offensive rebound by Strimlow. Kick out 3 ball on the way. That's no good, and Brandon Mitchell finally grabs the board. Pioneers in transition into the front court. Here's Brandon Mitchell on the left wing. Kicks it out to Justin Mitchell to Hobbs in the corner. Top of the key. To the right side is Crump. Back to Gibson at the top. He'll fake a 3, drive down the lane, leave it off for Brandon Mitchell. A little 5-foot floater from the baseline is good. Smart play by the smartest player in the league from a year ago, Trent Gibson. 11-4, the Pioneers with the advantage over the Wolves. Into the front court, Marcus Ford. Ford, Strimlow to the top, McCollum. McCollum down the lane is going to be Joseph. May have traveled. He did. Slipped and fell. That'll lead us to our first break of this first half. We go to break. 15:59 to play in the first half. Back in 60 seconds. Tusculum 11 and Newberry 4. Pioneer basketball continues after this on the Pioneer Sports Network. Eleven to 4, Tusculum. They're off to a great start. 67% from the field. They've hit 4 of 6 and 3 of 4 from 3. Newberry's 2 for 6. They have 2 turnovers. Tusculum with 2 turnovers as well. KJ Crump into the front court for the Pioneers on the right side. Man-to-man now for the Newberry Wolves, and Trent Gibson says thank you very much. Bang. 3-pointer from the left wing, and the Pioneers firing 3s from everywhere. Gibson, who has scored 20 ever since his return, one of the leading scorers, if not the best scorer in the league. On the baseline, turnaround in the paint, and fighting hard for 2 is up and no good by McCollum. Another offensive rebound look is no good, and Brandon Mitchell finally gets the rebound for the Pioneers. Gibson with it into the front court to Crump. Into the corner is Mitchell for 3. That one in and out, no good, and the rebound fought for, contended for, and finally grabbed by Newberry's Robin Bedford, who's just into the contest for the Wolves. Here's a 3 ball by Ford, and that's good. Marcus Ford, senior out of Eatonton, Georgia. And it ends a drought for the Wolves. Tusculum was on an 8-0 run, and the Wolves had gone 0 for their last 6. On the baseline, Jacob Hobbs, Mitchell, Crump, Gibson on the left wing. Gibson in the paint, outside to Justin Mitchell. He'll attack, go to the floor with the ball, and it'll be a jump ball arrow to Newberry. So into the contest, and he has started really the last 6 games, is William Vetter, the graduate out of Washington, D.C. by way of Virginia State. He'll be in along with our super sophomore, Anadi Legist, ranking 3rd in the league in block shots. And in his last 6, he's averaged just about 13 points per contest, and all of that has been coming off the bench for Anadi. Last year had his career game against Anderson on a day he learned his sister had passed away from COVID. Inside the paint, McCollum is going to be fouled. And the personal foul will go on William Vetter. It's good to have Vetter. He's, for the Pioneers, a guy who has been there, done that with Virginia State, guy that's been participating in big-time games. So it's a big pickup for the Pioneers to have his presence. Strimlow at the top. This will be McCollum. McCollum into the hands of T.J. Brown. Brown on the right wing, driving on Legist into the paint. Tough runner's good. T.J. Ford, good finish against a good defender. And it's 14-9, just like that. Pioneers had that largest lead at 14-4. In the front court come the Pioneers. Bounce pass on the baseline. Vetter, and he'll lower the shoulder and pick up his second foul immediately. Vetter lowering the shoulder. And I'm surprised Ford survived it. He did. Actually, that was T.J. Brown, wasn't it? So good job by Brown taking that charge for the Wolves, who get the ball back down 14-9 on a mini 5-0 spurt here. With the basketball is Ford into the corner to Brown. Brown with it, back out to the top of the key. On the drive, Bedford kicks it back out. This will be Brown driving in on the baseline. McCollum, a hook shot. That's no good. And the rebound is going to be knocked away and out of play off the Pioneers. Newberry so active. They get to the glass after missed shots. Their field goal percentage is way down, but their offensive rebound second chance numbers are way up. One of the top 4 teams in the league in second chance opportunities. On the dribble, this will be Ford at the top into the corner. This is going to be Strimlow, McCollum. McCollum inside three-point territory, back out to Brown. Brown down the lane, just lost it. Oh, a late whistle. I don't know what Justin Mitchell did. Well, that's a good call. Justin Mitchell said he chucked him. I never saw Justin Mitchell bring his arm down to chuck anybody, but I guess he did. Newberry gets a second chance, and a tough fadeaway jumper by Brown is good. So he turned it over, and he was bailed out on a foul on Justin Mitchell. So it's a 7-0 spurt for the Wolves. Tusculum hasn't scored in 2.5 minutes. 14-11, Tusculum with the lead. Left side, Vetter, watched by McCollum. Jalen Crowder is checked in for the Pioneers. Gibson still out there. 5 to shoot. Crump doubled. Driving into the paint. Little teardrop floater is too strong. And the rebound weak side taken by Bedford. Bedford quickly to the front court. This will be Ford. He'll jack a 3 for the tie. That one's no good, but an offensive rebound by Strimlow. It's too strong. And the rebound is tipped out to T.J. Brown. Too many second chance looks, and McCollum finally missing. Newberry missing and trailing by 3. Gibson into the front court. Skip pass right side. Baseline 3 by Crowder. Bang. Well, the Pioneers are living with that 3 ball right now. They've hit 5 of them. They've made 6 shots, 5 from 3. And it's 17-11 Tusculum. Top of the key with the basketball. And the dribble will be Ford. Down the lane, put it up off the glass. Dribble drive on Crump is good. Into the front court, this will be Trent Gibson. Gibson, double teamed, stays on the dribble, lost it, but throws it off of, he threw it off Newberry. That takes us to another timeout on the floor. Turnover on the Pioneers. Wolves basketball when we return after this. Back in 1 minute, 11:50 to play in the first half, where it's Tusculum 17, Newberry 13. Pioneer basketball continues after this on the Pioneers Sports Network.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's will you?
Your new Quick Rewards loyalty card and start earning money instantly.
Meeting between Tusculum and Newberry, a date that began 1971. The series tied up 23 games apiece. The Pioneers have won 4 of the last 5 and 5 of their last 7 against the Wolves. As we come out of this timeout, the red-hot Marcus Ford stays just that, red-hot. Makes it a 1-point game on a 3-ball straight away. And after the turnover, the Wolves make it 17-16, Tusculum by a point. Crowder, Legist, open as Gibson, bang, answering. And the Pioneers again from 3. And again, Newberry's belief is you're not going to make them all night. Probably true, but they started that way. 6 of 8 from 3. Bedford will be fouled by the whistle-happy Kenny Pate, who will come over here and tell us what the foul is. And the foul will go against Jalen Crowder. Crowder fouling Bedford on his way to the rim. You know, lots of times in the college game, we want to let these guys just play, but it's not always the case. Meanwhile, Bedford at the free throw line had 5 starts prior to tonight. This will be his 10th game played, and from the stripe this season had just been 4 of 8. But is good on 2 straight right there. So we're going to take a second off the shot clock. I think it would have been to 29 if he hadn't have blown the whistle so fast. Crowder will take it into the front court for the Pioneers. Tusculum leads 20-18. Right side front court, Trenton Gibson. Gibson down the lane, a little tough floater. This one will not go. And a rebound foul, or was he out of bounds? That's what it was. He was out of bounds. So the Pioneers get the basketball back. 10:53 to play here in this opening half. Into the contest for Newberry's come Davario Shepard. On the inbound, Crowder. Crowder. Zach Dixon is in for the Pioneers. Gibson, bang. Another 3 for Trenton Gibson. Gibson with 4 3-pointers, tying a career best from 3 already that he established against Queens 2 weeks ago. 3 ball that's on the way is no good. Rebounded by Legist of the Pioneers. Shepard took that 3 for Newberry. Into the front court. Give it back to Gibson. Legist now left side. This will be Crowder. Crowder to Gibson. Gibson with 12 on 4 made threes. 15 to shoot for the Pioneers. All of this work around the perimeter. Finally a touch in the paint for Legist. Turnaround is off the mark and no good, and rebounded by Shepard. Newberry basketball into the front court. On the left side, this is going to be Jalen Johnson. At the top, on the drive, Ford out to Johnson for a 3 is no good. Crowder comes up with the rebound. Pioneers with the basketball, forcing tempo front court. Gibson into the paint, pull up off the dribble is too strong, no good. Mitchell knocking it away. Zach Dixon in the air, throws it off a Wolf, out of play, and the Pioneers keep possession. KJ Crump will be into the game to give Gibson a breather. 9:40 to play here in the first half. Crump will inbound the basketball for the Pioneers. On the baseline in the front court. And he'll lob it for Dixon, working against the much smaller Marcus Ford. Legist, Crump, 3. In and out, no good. And the rebound comes down to Newberry. So the Wolves will have it. And Bedford, will force the tempo into the front court and will wrap it around for Strimlow, who lost it out of play because it was slapped away by apparently Zach Dixon. So the Pioneers leading 23-18, have led by as many as 10. And on the inbound, Ford nearly traveling, and maybe he did. Another ball that's knocked out of play. This one knocked out of play by the Pioneers. Into the contest returns McCollum. On the inbound will be Bedford. Bedford gives it up to Ford. Ford at the top of the key. Defended by Crump. Bouncing it to McCollum in the paint over Mitchell, short, and the rebound comes down to Legist. Pioneers get a stop, and Crump will force tempo into the front court. Pioneers will set up in the half court. Crump at the top. Bedford taking Crump. Really a 2-3 zone, and then it's a steal. Marcus Ford comes up with it, will drive it coast to coast, lay it up off the glass, and bank it in. Ford off to a great start. It's 23-20, comes up with the steal. Ford has 10. Right side, front court on the dribble will be Crump. Here's Dixon. Dixon, Crowder. Crowder with 10 to shoot. Crump on the right wing, watched by Bedford. Legist, 3. Down the lane, off the glass, rims off, no good, and the rebound comes down to Newberry, Jalen Johnson. You got to stop. On the run into the front court will be Bedford. Bedford, and a whistle for a foul. Illegal screen going against Jalen Johnson. It'll be the first foul against Newberry in the game. That's always what it's impressive with me. As hard as a team plays in college, you don't commit a foul till there's 8:18 left in the first half. That means you're a real good team in playing without fouling, or you're real lucky. 23-20, Tusculum. They lead by 3. Across the stripe will be KJ Crump. Newberry 0-5 to start the year. A complete overhaul in how intense they play on defense, and it's led to a 4-game winning streak. Crowder fires a 3, and that one's too strong. It's no good, and the rebound comes down to Ford of Newberry. A rare miss from 3 for the Pioneers. Ford into the paint, gives it up to McCollum, and he'll draw a foul. He'll go to the free throw line to shoot a pair. And the foul goes against a naughty Legist. It'll be his first. Another timeout and another break here from Pioneer Arena. Back in 1 minute with 7:49 to play in the first half. It's Tusculum 23 and Newberry 20. Pioneer basketball continues after this on the Pioneer Sports Network.
Hello, my name is Jacob Fate, and I'm the Dean of the College of Business at Tusculum University. I'm proud to share with you that the programs in the College of Business received accreditation through ACBSP in December of 2018. The Accreditation Council for Business Schools and Programs accredits business schools and programs worldwide. This accreditation elevates our programs to the top programs worldwide.
On the Pioneer Sports Network, your home for Pioneer basketball with the voice of the Pioneers, Ryan.
Newberry a chance to get back to within 1. They were there after a Ford three-pointer to make it a 17-16 game. If the Pioneers opened it back up, would go up by 5. Pioneers have missed their last 5 shots. They're 1 for their last 7, and they haven't scored in 3 minutes. And it's a 2-point Pioneer lead as the second free throw is missed, rebounded by Jacob Hobbs. Gibson back on the floor, driving down the lane, missed it short, but there's Brandon Mitchell. He'll kick it back out to Crump, top of the key 3. In and out, it's no good, and the rebound goes off Hobbs and out of play. Newberry will have the basketball back. Tusculum got a couple looks at it, and a rare miss in the paint for Trenton Gibson. He gets there, typically that's going in. Pioneers have missed their last 3 three-point attempts as well. After they opened the game, 6 for their first 8. They have gone 1 for their next 4. 23-21 Tusculum. But Newberry with the basketball can tie or take the lead this possession. Bedford on the right side. They bounce it inside the paint. Johnson will work it back outside to Shepard. McCollum gets around Hobbs, and McCollum will tie the game. Tied at 23. As KJ Crump will take it into the front court for the Pioneers. Crump on the left wing, back out to the top. Now to the left wing is Hobbs. Skip pass right side to Justin Mitchell. Drives it baseline. Kicks it back out to Hobbs for 3. In and out, no good. And the rebound is loose, out of play, and it's off Brandon Mitchell. The official was right there on top of that one. It did look awkward. It looked as if it may have gone off a Wolf, but it did not. 6:38 to play. First half, tied at 23. Newberry can take their first lead of the game. On the right side, Johnson to Bedford on the left wing. Bedford driving down the lane around Mitchell. A tough shot that's no good. Rebounded by Brandon Mitchell. KJ Crump to Trenton Gibson. Gibson, 12 points. Crump, backdoor look for Brandon Mitchell. Brandon, nice patience in the paint. Puts it up off the glass, banks it in. Started from their left block. The Pioneers have gone 1 for their last 10, ending a drought of 8 straight misses on that layup by Mitchell. It's 25-23. Top of the key with it, Shepard. A deep three left wide open was Brown. It's no good, and the rebound by Brandon Mitchell soaring above everybody. Here comes Justin Mitchell on a long pass to the front court to Gibson. Gibson uses a screen, kicks it out, and a whistle for some contact, light contact that is. Compared to the way this game has gone, that's really light contact. They're going to get Robin Bedford for a foul. Number 1 on him, team's second. Here comes Josh Scott into the contest. Saw Josh Scott play at the Arby's Classic from Blanche Ely High School against the Greenville Green Devils some 5 years ago. Was not a good day for Greenville. And I thought to myself, boy, that kid would be great addition at Tusculum. And lo and behold, here he is. Inbound situation, baseline, good, and 1 by Jacob Hobbs. Got the foul against the guy just in, Sherman Robinson, had just checked into the game for Newberry. He'll pick up the foul, and Hobbs with an and 1. Hobbs got the early season start and has been coming off the bench primarily. He'll knock home the three-point play. Averaging just under 3 points a game. Started the first 3 games of the year. He's played every game this year. The Lipscomb transfer. 28-23, the Pioneers by 5. Newberry basketball in the front court. Right side with it is going to be Ford. Ford wants a screen, gets it from Robinson. Still with it, lobbing it down low and throws it away. The Pioneers' Hobbs comes up with the steal. Gibson into the front court. Back to Hobbs. Attacks, kicks it out to Scott. Scott to Gibson. Gibson now will back it off. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Justin Mitchell against this zone. It can't stop. Hobbs for 3, no. Rebound taken by Newberry and grabbed by Stremlow. Into the front court will be T.J. Brown. Brown mishandled the dribble for just a second, got it back. Now switching, and Brandon Mitchell taking it. Brown taking advantage and maybe altered. No, he just lost it. I thought maybe the all-time leading shot blocker in school history picked up another one, but he did not, as Brown just lost it going out of bounds. 28-23, Tusculum by 5 with 4:40 to the half. Trenton Gibson across the stripe. A super scintillating start, but has cooled off since. Hobbs from the left wing, back to Gibson. Gibson worked over by Robinson. Scott penetrates inside the paint, back out to Gibson, a 3. Settled for that one, and it's no good. As the battle for the rebound with Brandon Mitchell along with T.J. Brown is going to be tied up, and the Pioneers will keep possession with the arrow. Back into the game will come Quandavion McCullum. And we'll give Sherman Robinson a breather, the Freeport, Bahamas native. On the inbound, this will be Mitchell to Mitchell. Brandon with it from the block will throw it back out to Gibson. 15 on the shot clock for the Pioneers. Gibson says, let's clear it out. He'll go right side to Scott. Scott to Gibson. Working around Ford, 5 to shoot. Gibson, step back 3. No, he missed it all. And the rebound comes down to Brown of Newberry. Leads to a break for Stremlow, who will lay it up and in. Nobody got back. The Pioneers lead 28-25. 3:45 to play in the first half. Scott in the front court gives it back to Gibson. Gibson, who's missed his last 5 shots, still 4 of 5 from 3. But the Pioneers 2 for their last 13. Credit Newberry's defense. They've made life tough. 10 seconds to shoot. Every possession for the Pioneers is winding down. Mitchell with the Euro step. Count it 1. Mitchell with the quick first step and then the long stride, got hit in the side of the head, and an and one opportunity when we come back after this. Timeout on the floor. 3:22 left. Back in 1 minute. Tusculum 30, Newberry 25. As you listen to Pioneer Basketball on the Pioneer Sports Network.
This is Nick Hurst, the mortgage investor for the greatest number one FHA lender. And I want to be your home mortgage lender.
Was the team green?
Are you buying
What's that?
Was the team green when
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
It was the worst loss, the second worst loss ever in Argus Classic.
Their defense was insane.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was insane.
Like, I went to the coach then, was Mike Jones, and I said, I saw a kid play. He comes off the bench, and he'd start for most teams that you probably see. But he comes off the bench, and his energy is all there. Now, I think he ripped his ankle up in preseason, so it's a slow start for him. But you're exactly right. He is insane defensively.
Yeah.
He and number one are the two guys that they're lockdown defenders.
I mean, their whole team was.
They were nasty.
Yeah.
Pioneer basketball.
And then they scored on top of that. They
Tusculum versus
scored time.
Once again, the voice of the Pioneers, Ryan Staten.
So the Pioneers have had their lead cut to 1 on 2 different occasions, but they lead it right now 30-25. They've cooled off a bit. They're 41% from the field. They're 47% from 3. They've made 11 field goals. They've made 7 of them from three-point territory. Brandon Mitchell, and that awkward free throw style, no good. And the three-point play, not this time. Pioneers lead 30-25, rebounded by Newberry, and here comes Ford into the front court. As Bedford is back on the floor, McCollum is out there. He has it now around the perimeter. Here's Brown, watched by Justin Mitchell. Brown handling inside the paint, 10 seconds to shoot. Back to Ford. Ford defended by Gibson. Nice little spin move on the dribble. Will pull up on a double team at the buzzer. It's no good. And the rebound, though, comes down into the hands of Brown of Newberry as the long rebound went out. Pioneers were in good position, just couldn't get it to finish. And a jumper inside by McCollum, I think, and it's no good. Rebounded by Brandon Mitchell. Pioneers into the front court. Hobbs back out to the top. Justin Mitchell, Trenton Gibson in the paint. Brandon Mitchell, he's doubled. And he'll fade away with that little baby hook. It's no good. The rebound, though, by Brandon Mitchell. Shuffles it out to Justin Mitchell in the paint. Floater is off the mark and no good. And Brandon Mitchell can't hang on to the rebound. It goes out of bounds to Newberry. A naughty Legist into the contest for the Pioneers. And in for the first time will be Andrew Robinson, a sophomore out of Lexington, South Carolina. (30-25), Tusculum. Newberry basketball. On the right side, this will be Andrew Robinson. Ball knocked away and stolen by the Pioneers. Josh Scott has it. He'll drive it, put it up. It's an offensive foul. That's tough on a fast break. I know that T.J. Brown is fast and he's quick and can probably get back in a spot and set up, but Josh Scott was already in his – he'd already picked up his dribble by the time Brown had stopped, and that's lots of times how you count that. If the guy starts his offensive move to the bucket and you're still moving, that's a block. As it is, a foul on Josh Scott. 30-25, Tusculum with a 5-point lead after the offensive foul and turnover. Brown goes to work over Legist. He's short, no good. Rebounded, I believe, by Tusculum because they have the ball running the other way. This is Justin Mitchell and another offensive foul. This one a bit out of control, I think. More of a control foul on Justin Mitchell. That'll be his second and the team's 8th. But back-to-back turnovers for this Pioneer team. Quick little timeout here for Newberry. Coming up at halftime for WKDK listeners down in Newberry, South Carolina. Again, we take a little bit of a break. Again, coming up at the half. We'll play This Week in Tusculum Athletics. It's a 4-minute segment. We will surround that with 2 90-second commercials. So in the event you might want to plan or listen to what we do here at Tusculum for the week and what is going on, you can air that, or you can just return to some regular programming, maybe have some local news for yourself. But your break will be 7 minutes. You'll have commercial break, and then a segment for this week in Tusculum Athletics, which is 4 minutes, and then another 90-second break. So that's what we have coming up at the half. That'll be for our listeners down in Newberry, South Carolina, how you want to adjust to what you've got coming up at the half. We'll return with your first half stats and scores from around the South Atlantic Conference. Here at the first half, 30-25 out of the Wolves timeout. Pioneers by 5. The offense has dried up a bit. The Wolves haven't scored in over 2 minutes. They're 1 for their last 7. The Pioneers have labored as well. Down the lane is going to be Brown. He says, laboring no more. Just finishing at the rim so easily is T.J. Brown. It's 30-27. Tusculum by 3 with 1:10 to play here in this first half. Brown with his 6th point, and they have not been easy to come by, and they have all been in the paint. Justin Mitchell on the right side. Back out to the top is Hobbs to Mitchell. Mitchell, they're going to get him for a travel, and the Pioneers have turned it over on 3 straight possessions, so that doesn't ever help. Pioneers haven't scored in over 2 minutes, and again, the Wolves potentially can tie on this possession. We were tied one time and tied at 23. Into the front court on the right side. With it is going to be T.J. Brown. Brown to the top to McCollum. McCollum. And back out to Ford. Ford near the midcourt stripe. 40 seconds on the clock. Scott defending on Ford. Good to see Josh back out. Now Hobbs steps in, comes up with the steal. And Hobbs will be fouled going up to the rim. Foul is going to be called on Malachi Stremlow. Jason Taylor looked back at J.T. Burton and gave him a little chuckle. Hobbs will go to the free throw line at 67% on the season. Will rattle in the first. Hobbs, one of his best games for the Pioneers. Again, started the first 3, had a 9-point game against Jacksonville for his career. At Lipscomb, he had a 9-point game at Jacksonville. He had an 8-point game against Clayton State. His best game as a Pioneer. It's off to a good start in this one. He has 8 to equal that as he goes 2 for 2 at the stripe. Pioneers lead 32-27, 20 seconds to play here in the first half. Shot clock difference of about 3 seconds. Ford with the basketball. He has 10 first half points for Newberry. He'll bring it to the left side, watched by Gibson. Use McCollum at the top. Here's Andrew Robinson. Back out. This shot will not count as it came after the horn, and the first half will come to an end. And actually, sorry, it's at the end of the shot clock. So 3 seconds left still here in this first half, and the Pioneers will have the basketball. They didn't get the shot away. Gibson, little runner in the lane. His finger roll is no good at the buzzer. A tough end to the first half for Trenton Gibson after an impressive start where he scored 12 points to start this contest, but he missed his last 6 shots of the half, and the Pioneers went 1 for their last 7 and didn't have a field goal in the final 3 minutes and 22 seconds of the half. We have reached halftime. We're again coming up. We'll have about a 7-minute break along the line for our listeners down in Newberry, South Carolina. That'll be a 4-minute segment for this week in Tusculum Athletics, surrounded by 2 90-second timeouts before we return back here to Pioneer Arena. Your score at the break is Tusculum 32 and Newberry 27. Pioneer basketball continues after this here on the Pioneer Sports Network. in that, and what I haven't brought your attention to, we don't have James West. What was I thinking? We don't have James West. Just saw him walk by. He's not dressed. One of the best three-point shooters ever, and one of the best in the South Atlantic Conference this year. Off to a slow start to this season, but we don't have him. And I was wondering there for a second in the first half, what is wrong? Well, that's what's wrong. The Pioneers weren't wrong from three when we got off to a terrific start. As this Pioneer team, KJ Crump hit the first three of the game. It came 6 seconds into the game. Jacob Hobbs followed that up just about 36 seconds later, and the Pioneers led it 6-2. Tusculum would lead 14-4 on a Trenton Gibson three-pointer. As a matter of fact, they would hit 4 three-pointers in their first 5 attempts, and they were red hot. They would take the largest lead of the first half of 10 points. But Newberry wouldn't go away, as Ford would hit a three, and he would hit another three to make it a one-point game at 17-16 with 11:41 to play in that first half of action. Trenton Gibson would answer for his final points of the first half with a three-pointer to make it 20-16. The game would be tied at 23 on a McCollum layup in the paint, and the Pioneers would answer on a Brandon Mitchell layup in the paint. Hobbs would make a bucket and get fouled and make the three-point play, and the Pioneers would go up by 5. That would be the largest lead, 30-25, before we settle for that 5-point lead here at the break at 32-27. For the Pioneers, they hit 11 of 30 shots in the first half, 37%. They cooled off dramatically. They were 7 of 15 from 3 and 3 of 4 at the free throw line. Newberry, 11 of 30 as well. They were 2 for 8 from 3 and 3 of 4 at the free throw line, all things being equal. 2019, the edge to Tusculum in rebounds, and each team was 6 offensive rebounds. 10 assists on 11 made shots for the Pioneers. That's sharing the ball. 9 turnovers, no blocks, and 4 steals. 7 assists, 7 turnovers, no blocks, and 4 steals for Newberry. The Pioneers get 12 points out of Trenton Gibson on 4 of 10 from the field. He was 4 of 5 from 3. 8 points for Jacob Hobbs. 6 points, 8 rebounds for Brandon Mitchell. 3 points for KJ Crump and 3 points for Jalen Crowder for their total of 32. 10 points for Marcus Ford to lead Newberry. 5 points for Quandavian McCollum. 2 points for Malachi Strimlow. 6 for TJ Brown. 2 for Malik Joseph. 2 points for Robin Bedford for their total of 27. Newberry outdoing Tusculum in the paint, I guess you could say. 16 to 6 points in the paint and 11-5 in points off turnovers. And Newberry has a 7-0 edge in fast break points. We had just one tie. Tusculum has led from the very opening tip 6 seconds into this contest. We're in halftime. We're at the break. It's Tusculum 32 and Newberry 27. Back in 30 seconds with scores around the league as you listen to Pioneer Basketball on the Pioneer Sports Network. All 5 and 2. Carson Newman, Newberry, and Mars Hill are 4 and 3. Limestone's 3 and 4. LR's 2 and 3. Anderson 3 and 5 with Catawba. Coker's 2 and 5, and Wise is winless. And here's what's going on in the league tonight. Carson Newman is leading Mars Hill 32 to 25. It is Anderson leading the Lenoir Bears 48 to 41, whom we play this Saturday. Lincoln Memorial in a good one with Wise 26-23. Queens leading Wingate 34-29, and it is Coker leading Limestone 65 to 54, and that has gone final because the Coker women were not able to play today. So Coker picks up their 3rd win in the league as they knock off the Limestone Saints by a final of 65 to 54. Game 1 of our doubleheader saw the Tusculum women knock off Newberry 71-61. They go wire to wire with that victory. Bree Dixon in her first game back this season, finishing with 1 point shy of her career best, 21 points for the Pioneers in this one. Maya Belton with a 17-point, 15 rebound effort. The 15 rebounds, a career best for Maya Belton. And she has had 3 double-doubles in now the last 4 games. Second half action when we come back after this, a 90-second break. At the half, it is Tusculum 32 and Newberry 27. Pioneer basketball continues here on the Pioneer Sports Network.
You know that Corley's Farm
Pioneer Sports Network, brought to you by
Roberts Furniture,
Andrew Johnson Bank,
Hometown Realty and Auction, Marathon Quick Stop Markets, your Greenville Light and Power System, Mortgage Investors Group,
Corley's Pharmacy,
Gateway Ford, Nissan,
Greenville Federal Bank. And now, with the call, the voice of the Pioneers.
So we welcome you back into Pioneer Arena as we get set to start this second half. Brian Staten, courtside game station engineer, is the executive producer of the Pioneer Sports Network, Nathan Hubbard, and on the TV side of things, Jenna Restivo. 32-27, and the Pioneers on defense to start. Justin Mitchell with the near steal, which would have been really entertaining because Justin Mitchell in the open court, not even the rim likes it when that happens. Newberry will have an inbound situation. On the inbound is going to be Malik Joseph. McCollum, reverse lay-in, is up and good. Got around Brandon Mitchell. KJ Crump, Trenton Gibson, Brandon Mitchell, Jacob Hobbs, and Justin Mitchell without James West. Again, that was one of those big misses in that first half for this Pioneer team as far as, you know, he's a guy that when they do get in a bad way, usually hits just a big shot. He's always that guy. Right now it's Jacob Hobbs driving it right down the lane. He'll put it off the glass and bank it in. Jacob Hobbs stepping in for James West tonight. He has a career best 10 on 3 of 4 from the field. Right side front court with it is going to be Marcus Ford, T.J. Brown, Malachi Strimlow, Malik Joseph, and Quandavian McCollum on the floor. 34-29. On the left side with the basketball. On the top of the key is going to be Joseph. Joseph, and then a fadeaway jumper. Tough shot is no good by McCollum. And the rebound by the Pioneers. Into the front court, Gibson. Outside, Hobbs. 3. Bang! Jacob Hobbs. Career best 13. I mean, you knew he had that type of talent, but holy cow. In for James West. It's 37-29, Tusculum. Marcus Ford. On the right side, into the hands of Ford. They throw it down low. Strimlow. Strimlow backs his way in on Mitchell and Hobbs. Can't get the shot to go. It's picked up by Gibson. Gibson with Ford to beat. Down the floor, put it up off the glass and puts it in. Fast break opportunity. It ends 6 straight misses for Trenton Gibson. And it's a 10-point game for the Pioneers. So the Pioneers, who led by 10 at 39-14, that was their largest lead. Pull-up jumper here by Ford. This one's off the mark. Rebounded by Justin Mitchell to KJ Crump. Crump into the front court to Gibson. Little blow by a Ford, and he'll draw a foul right to the rim. That's just Trenton Gibson, what he does. This foul will go against Brown, though. Be his first, team's first. So it'll be Gibson who will go to the free throw line for the Pioneers. 14 points on 5 of 11 from the field, 4 of 5 from 3. And will go to the free throw line for the first time. 80% on the year for Trent Gibson. Again, one of the school's all-time best. The only player in program history with 1,000 points, 500 rebounds, 300 assists, and 100 steals in his career. And oh, by the way, 7th in school history in free throw percentage. He makes them both, and the Pioneers have their largest lead. It's 41-29 here in this in this second half. At the top of the key, this will be Ford to Brown on the left wing. Brown dumps it down low, and a lay-in at the left block is off the glass, kissed in by McCollum. It was a 9-0 run to start the second half for the Pioneers, but that ended on that layup. 41-31 Tusculum. Or I should say that 9-0 run began in the first half. Gibson, bang, on the left wing, Trenton Gibson. The Blackman High School product out of Murfreesboro makes it 44-31. We'll back it out. This will be Malik Joseph for Newberry in their front court on the left side. Give it up to Brown. Brown wants a screen from McCollum, and he turns it over. Mitchell was in front of him, lost it, and Mitchell picks up the loose ball. They get it to Gibson, back to Mitchell. Mitchell in the paint. Brandon Mitchell with the rim rocker. Timeout will be asked for by the Newberry Wolves, and that'll take us to a break as well. Back in 1 minute, 16:38 to play in the game. Tusculum 46, Newberry 31. As you listen to Pioneer Basketball on the Pioneer Sports Network.
The first date. Only one chance to make that first impression. Don't worry, this might be new for you, but Ingles has been there before. From flowers to the freshest ingredients, we have everything you need to put your best foot forward.
I'm so sorry.
Remember, you can't get to happily ever after without once upon a time. Ingles, all the ingredients for family.
Being a champion takes more than
Basketball, Tusculum versus Newberry. Once again, the voice of the Pioneers, Ryan Staten.
So the Wolves take a timeout, still ahead of the media timeout, which is due in about 30 seconds. It's 46-31 Tusculum, and they're on a 14-2 run to start here in this second half. Largest lead of the game. From the corner, a three ball. It's off the side or the top of the backboard. Just into the game comes Luke Seals missing. And the Pioneers get the rebound, and Brandon Mitchell, fresh off the dunk, has it again in the paint, and his little leaner is up and good. Brandon Mitchell, 48-31 Tusculum. They hit from outside, now they're hitting from inside. Here's a travel and a turnover against the Newberry Wolves. So you bring Seals in immediately off the bench for the freshman from Oklahoma. The stash is lovely. And he's missed from the outside and turned it over for the Wolves. And now the Pioneers, KJ Crump, will take it into the front court. Bounce pass to Hobbs. Hobbs, skip pass onto the right side to Mitchell. Justin Mitchell bouncing to Brandon Mitchell, spinning on Seals. This shot is no good. The rebound tipped, and McCollum has it. I can't see a lot of the action down here because Coach Burton makes a better door than a window. On the right side, into the lane, will go forward. Tough leaner is no good. Easy rebound for Brandon Mitchell. KJ Crump, bullet pass front court. This will be Gibson. He's closed down nicely by Jalen Johnson. Gibson with it on the left wing at the three-point stripe. He'll fake it two. He'll dump it down low to Brandon Mitchell. Get into the paint, elevate for that hook shot that's no good, and the rebound will come down to Brown, and it'll be last touched out of play off of KJ Crump, I think, which takes us to a timeout on the floor. We'll take the break back in 1 minute. 15:09 to play in the game. Tusculum 48 and Newberry 31. Pioneer basketball will continue after this on the Pioneer Sports Network.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
In
to 31, Tusculum by their largest number of the game. They labored at the end of the first half, but they're on a 7-0 run, 16-2 run over the last 4-12, and Newberry hasn't scored in about 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Pioneers do get the ball back. An official came in and overturned the original call of Newberry basketball. Nadi Legist and Will Vetter on the floor. Legist yet to score is labored here early. Well, a good take right there. Just wouldn't go. Into the front court. This will be Ford. Seals in the corner to Johnson. Overshoots the three. And the rebound saved by Trenton Gibson. 14:40 to play. Pioneers with it into the front court. Justin Mitchell to Gibson. Gibson to Mitchell. Around the perimeter it goes. Crump on the baseline to Legist and had it knocked from his possession. Been a tough game for Anati, who had been, like I said, unstoppable. He was third in the league in blocks. In his last 6 games, he's been averaging 13 points a game, had a 21-point game against Limestone. But it's been a rough go here early. KJ Crump on the inbound, and they'll have to loft it into William Vetter. Vetter back into the hands of Trenton Gibson. Gibson to Justin Mitchell with 10 to shoot. Gibson, quick first step, right down the lane. Little floater is good. Hit that one up over McCollum from 8 feet when he let it go, and it's a 50-31 lead as the Pioneers continue to extend their largest lead of the game. A 9-0 run, 18-2 over the last 5 minutes. Newberry hasn't scored in over 3 minutes. Left side front court, Jalen Johnson. Johnson, McCollum in the paint on a double team. Both Vetter and Legist were there. Vetter, who picked up 2 fouls in about 2 seconds in that first half, has picked up 3 fouls in less than a minute time on the clock. His third, and the first on the team here in this second half. So McCollum is going to go to the stripe for the Newberry Wolves. His first is good. Josh Scott, Jalen Crowder in for Crump and Mitchell. McCollum, 63% on the year from the stripe. He's averaging 14.9 points a game on the year for the Wolves. He made them both. 50-33, Tusculum. Gibson across the stripe. He already is over 20. 21 for Trenton Gibson. Again. On the baseline right side, Crowder looking for Vetter. Knocked away, but Crowder saves it. Crowder back on that right side to Josh Scott. Left side, Gibson, 8 to shoot. Inside, Legist on a double team. Forced one up, it's no good, and Vetter can't hang on to the rebound and lost it out of play. So tough for the Pioneers as they come up empty on this particular possession. Into the front court with it is going to be Newberry. Right side is Ford. Ford to the left side to Brown, watched by Crowder. Brown into the paint and one. Good finish by TJ Brown. Kind of a circus around the rim type thing and gets it to go. Crowder picks up his second personal foul. Brown comes up with the finish. And it'll be Brown who will go to the free throw line for the Newberry Wolves. His free throw is up and good, and the three-point play is converted. Into the contest for Newberry will come DeVario Shepard. Saw some action in that first half. Trenton had like what, an 18-point game against Limestone since then. 4 straight, now make it 5 straight, 20-plus games for the Pioneers. It's 50-36 Tusculum. Brown now with 9 points for the Wolves after that three-point play converted. Gibson in the front court, picked up by Brown. Into the corner, Josh Scott to Crowder, back to Gibson. 9 to shoot. They lopped it down low to Vetter on a double team. Can't finish inside close. And the rebound taken by Johnson of Newberry. Pioneers, you could say they're laboring a bit as they haven't scored in the 3 trips. Bedford, left side, this will be Shepard. Inside the paint, Johnson. Next, McCollum, who will finish it in the paint off the glass. And Coach JT Burton not very happy with just the defensive or lack thereof efforts here. And that takes us to a timeout on the floor. So we'll take the break, and we're back in 1 minute. 12:26 to play after the timeout asked for by Tusculum. It's Tusculum 50 and Newberry 38. Pioneer basketball continues after this on the Pioneer Sports Network.
Johnson.
Tusculum versus Newberry. Once again, the voice of the Pioneers, Ryan.
Newberry's on a 7-0 run as they answered the Pioneers' run to start the second half, so they've responded. Now can the Pioneers respond out of the timeout by the Pioneers? Gibson, Crowder, a three. Bang. Jalen Crowder, just no hesitation. Out of Asheville, AC Reynolds High School by way of Caldwell Tech. 53-38 Tusculum. Here's Brown. He'll draw a bump from Crowder, who can't believe it. He's like, man, I'm just playing basketball. Well, that's a little bit more like football. A little bit more touchy. That'll be Crowder's third. But, man, I love his effort. Wade Crowder is. This Pioneer team is as deep as they've been. Crowder with 2 3-pointers here in the game. Mitchell, a quiet 10 points for the 5, Brandon Mitchell. And then Josh Scott will be whistled for a foul here. Scott will pick up his second, trying to grab a steal, but literally, instead of the ball, grabbed Brown. Brown on the inbound for the Wolves. Here's Bedford. Bedford on the left wing. Top of the key is Johnson to the right side. Brown. Brown, watched by Scott. In the paint, and Brandon Mitchell says nope. But a whistle, and it comes on Josh Scott. Scott's whistled for his third. And I know there's an emphasis on hands off and all this kind of stuff, but we're going to have to do something. Yeah, I agree. At the line is Brown, rattles in the free throw. So Hobbs back in, Crump back in. The normal sub for Gibson as he'll exit the contest. And exiting is Josh Scott with that third foul. But good to see Josh just kind of getting back into it, named to the all-freshman team 2 years ago. 53-40 after the Pioneers had led by 18 here in this contest. Or make that 19, sorry. It's down to 12. Vetter on the baseline, backing his way in, using that wide frame. His hook shot is short, but Brandon Mitchell grabs the rebound. Spinning, kicking it back out to Crump. Crump, Vetter, and he'll be fouled. Yeah, there's a lot of contact on this end, too. This personal foul will go against Robin Bedford, will be his second. You say no hands and can't do this and can't do that, yet sometimes it just doesn't seem to be even or equal. But it's a tough game to officiate, if you ask me. All alone underneath. Nice look and nice vision by K.J. Crump as Will Vetter scores his first 2 of the game on the right block, point blank. 55-40, Tusculum by 15. 3-ball here by Brown is good. Drains the 3. And another quick timeout asked for by Newberry's Jason Taylor. So just a reminder for you, we're back on the road this Saturday as the Pioneers wrap up their pre-Christmas portion of the schedule as we travel to Hickory, North Carolina, and we'll take on the Lenoir-Rhyne Bears. The Bears were in action tonight, and they were actually leading Anderson. Actually, Anderson had taken the lead on them as they were in at halftime, 48-41. Anderson had rallied from a deficit. We'll be in Hickory, North Carolina. And our coverage with the women's game will tip off at 2 o'clock, the men's game to follow. That's this Saturday, right back here on the Pioneer Sports Network. Meanwhile, the Newberry Wolves have Coker on Saturday. The women will not play Coker, as Coker women's team is in COVID protocols. We'll miss the next two. 55-43 on the three ball by Brown. Crowder into the front court. Bounce pass to Hobbs in the corner for three. No. Long rebound comes out to Brown. Brown slowed by Crump. Here's a three ball on the way by Shepard. That's good. Davario Shepard has made it a 55-46 game, and it's down to 9, just like that. Crowder back into the hands of KJ Crump. Never any panic for Jason Taylor for Newberry. So calm. Hobbs at the top. Into the corner, Crowder, a three. No. Rebound taken by Bedford. And again, the theory is you're not going to make threes all night on us. But it helps when you do make them. Here's Shepard. Back out to Brown. He'll try a three. Back iron, no. And the rebound to Hobbs. Grabbing that one for the Pioneers. Into the front court is KJ Crump. Right at 10 minutes to play in the basketball game. Pioneers looking to end a 2-game slide. And also in the process, it would be ending a 4-game winning streak for Newberry. Meanwhile, Newberry wants to equal the Pioneers' 5-game winning streak this season by getting their 5th win in a row. Crump around Brown into the paint. Little pull-up floater is good by KJ Crump. You know, the kid doesn't shoot much, but he probably should shoot more. Into the front court, Brown. Brown at the rim, lays it in. Just went through 3 Pioneers. He was dancing like a wolf. Into the front court with the basketball will be KJ Crump. 57-48, 9:20 to play. Pioneers by that margin. And here's Crump. Right side, Brandon Mitchell. Mitchell. Crump, he'll try a three. That one's strong. Hobbs, rebound, put back is good. Career night continues for Jacob Hobbs for the Pioneers. 59-48 Tusculum. As again, Newberry had come in, cut the deficit to 9. Can trim it here more, but can't get the three to go by Shepard. Pioneer basketball as they'll take it into the front court. Crump, right side to Crowder. Crowder, Crump to Hobbs. Hobbs, 15 for him tonight. Vetter, doubled. Oh, he passes out of that into the backcourt. Turns it over. Pioneers will turn it over. It'll be turnover number 10. So here comes Justin Mitchell, Trenton Gibson, and Josh Scott into the contest. Good energy, good movement by Crowder, Crump, and Vetter. Strimlo is also back into the game for Newberry. So 8:29 to play, an 11-point Pioneer lead. They've led by as many as 19. Here's Bedford with it on the right side, watched by Gibson. Brown, defended by Justin Mitchell, takes off down the lane. This layup won't go this time. Rebounded by Justin Mitchell, racing it into the front court. Hobbs sprinting it to the baseline, backing it out to Gibson. And they'll slow up in the half court. Newberry gets back. They don't necessarily always get organized defensively, but they'll make life rough on you. Into the corner, Justin Mitchell. On the baseline, Hobbs. Reverse, no, as he tried to throw that one down. It's off of Newberry, out of play. We've reached a timeout on the floor, and we'll take the break. 7:59 left in the game. Back in 1 minute. Tusculum 59, Newberry 48. Pioneer basketball will continue after this on the Pioneer Sports Network.
City Toyota is the #1 Toyota dealership in the Tri-Cities because we make buying simple. First, we discount every vehicle every day, and we stand behind what we sell with a lifetime warranty. For more, simply go to johnsoncitytoyota.com.
The first date. Only one chance to make that first impression. Don't worry, this might be new for you, but Ingalls has been there before. From flowers to the freshest ingredients, we have everything you need to put your best foot forward.
I'm so sorry.
Remember, you can't get to happily ever after without once upon a time. Ingalls, all the ingredients for family.
Being a champion
of the Pioneers.
So we welcome you back into Pioneer Arena, where the Pioneers lead the Newberry Wolves 59-48. Hasn't always been easy. Let me just say that. Newberry is not going away, and they won't go away anytime soon. That's just not in their DNA. Left side front court, Trenton Gibson out of the timeout. Justin Mitchell, a three. No. Rebounded by Brandon Mitchell. Just soared up above everybody and grabs that ball above the rim and will draw the foul as he attempted to go up. Not a bad foul if you're Robin Bedford, but it is his third, as it's going to send Brandon Mitchell to the free throw line, where he's labored beyond belief this year. 31% from the free throw line. It's 2 years ago. 70% at the free throw line. Marcus Ford is going to be in after the missed first by Brandon Mitchell. Brandon's had another solid game. Again, it's a quiet. He's in double figures. He has 10 points and 12 rebounds. Another double-double for Brandon Mitchell. Missing this one, but a lane violation on Newberry's McCullum. I think it's a mistake. Everybody's laughing. I'm laughing. I'm laughing inside. They're going to get Josh Scott. As he said, they faked, whatever. You should be able to use anything you want to use to get in. Outside of a fake slide as a quarterback or anything like that, you should be able to use what you want on the baseline, for crying out loud. So, missed free throw, but a missed shot by Newberry, and another Brandon Mitchell rebound. His 13th of the basketball game. 12 career double-doubles for Brandon. A little backdoor cut to Hobbs. He missed the dunk. He thought he was fouled. Probably was. The whistle-happy Kenny Pate decided not to blow his whistle that time. And he doesn't blow his whistle this time because he doesn't know which way the ball went. And now the officials are going to come in because nobody's watching the game. And it's going to stay Newberry basketball. It was easily deflected out of play by Tusculum, but the radio guy wasn't going to say anything because I believe that Jacob Hobbs was fouled on his way up to the rim. Newberry on the inbound. Right side, front court in front of their bench. This will be Marcus Ford. Ford, Bedford, and it's out of play. Probably justice prevails. You know, it's one of those things. Well, at least they're having communication. That helps. 7:10 to play in the game, 59-48. But you always love the excuse from the official. I'm so far under the basket, I couldn't see a thing. Then get out from underneath the bucket. Hobbs hands it off to Scott. Scott takes off into the paint, and I'm not sure who it's on. I'm not sure what is going on. I didn't see any of that play. But Josh Scott apparently went into the paint out of control and just ran over somebody. That'll be his fourth and team foul number 6 on the Pioneers. Pioneers haven't scored in over 2 minutes. Newberry hadn't scored in over 2.5 minutes. We're stuck on this 11-point Pioneer lead. Right side front court. Ford back with it, center of the floor. Watched by Hobbs, and he'll take him off the dribble right to the rim. Missed the layup, but draw the foul. And this will go on Jacob Hobbs. Hobbs will pick up his first. He's played all this time. He's just picked up his first foul. As Ford will go to the free throw line. It's been one of those games, Hobbs, it's been his night. You know, the last 3 or 4 games, it's been a naughty Legist who's been able to score and score at will. Tonight it's been Hobbs with a career best 15 on 5 of 10 from the floor. Ford will make the first. Legist will be in for Josh Scott. Ford with his 10th point, or pardon me, his 11th and 12th points as he makes 2, and it's a 59-50 Pioneer lead, 6.5 to play in the contest. And you have to think that maybe even the Pioneers, they need a bucket here. It's been a long time since Trenton Gibson has scored. He has 21. Justin Mitchell with it to Hobbs, and he'll be fouled, a reach in. They got Ford, but he was so quick. And that's just the part of the game. You know, the game moves so fast anymore. The quick hands, the quickness all over the floor. There's always contact. There's always something. But Hobbs lost it going up that time, and the official was really fortunately able to see it. Hobbs at the free throw line where he makes the first of his 2-shot foul. And it's back to a 10-point Pioneer lead. Second is no good. The rebound by McCullough. This lead has been trimmed at one time a 19-point lead at 50-38. It's been down to 9 on 3 different occasions here. It's a 10-point lead now, and any bucket here for Newberry will be as close as they've been since very early. Legist comes up with a steal, tipping it to himself. Quick transition for the Pioneers into the front court. Here's Gibson, gets around Bedford on a quadruple team, kicks it out to Hobbs. Bang! Baseline 3, big moment, and a big part of the game. And Gibson drew 4 players to him and found Hobbs in the corner for 3. And the Pioneers have been lights out from 3. That's their 11th of the game. Ford rejected by Gibson driving to the bucket, and the player of the year makes a defensive stop after getting a big assist. A Pioneer team assisting, by the way, 18 of the 23 made shots in the contest. Hobbs, top of the key. Mitchell, 3, no. And Justin, coming off a career-best 17-point game on the road at Wingate Saturday in the loss, has yet to find it here tonight from outside. And again, without James West. And the Pioneers doing all of this without a starter. But inserts Jacob Hobbs, and he's having his career game. 19 points on 6 of 11 from the field. Right side front court, this will be Ford. He'll take a 3. This one is no good. I think a little bit of that for Ford was just, yeah, you blocked my shot, but now I'm going to make a 3 in your face, and it just didn't go. 63-50 Tusculum. We're under 5 to play, winning time for this Pioneer basketball team, trying to end a 2-game losing streak, I should say, and end the Newberry 4-game winning streak. Mitchell to Mitchell. Justin in the paint, leaves it up for Legist. He'll finish through the contact and lay it in. A naughty Legist had a slow game. That's his first 2 of the night, and the Pioneers up 15, 65-50. Ford, right wing to Brown, picked up by Justin Mitchell. Not an easy thing for Brown, or I should say for Justin Mitchell, but not easy for Brown either. He misses the step-back 3, rebounded by Gibson. The Pioneers can take some more time off this clock. Mitchell in the front court. They're going to force Newberry to chase him. They get it to Brandon Mitchell. Jacob Hobbs with the backdoor dunk. Exclamation point to a career game. He's got 21. 67-50 Tusculum. Under 4 to play in the game. Bedford down the lane. Stops on a dime. Gets rid of Gibson. Spins and shoots and scores. What a play by Bedford. Ending the 8-0 run by the Pioneers. We got to reset the shot clock. We had some problems with it. It's going to also take us to a media timeout with the stoppage of play. So we take the break and return to Pioneer Arena for the final break of the game. 3:42 left, where it's Pioneer 67, Newberry 52. Back in 1 minute as you listen to Pioneer Basketball on the Pioneer Sports Network.
So much of life these days is rushing around from one place to another. Sometimes you just want to enjoy the journey on the way to the destination. And part of what makes it a little more enjoyable is an appreciation for the folks who help you get there. At Ingalls, we know that the people who send you on your way are the same ones who keep you coming back.
I think you should take it for a spin. Are you serious?
Ingalls. All the ingredients for family.
Versus Newberry on the Pioneer Sports Network. Your home for Pioneer basketball with the voice of the Pioneers, Ryan.
Jacob Hobbs entered tonight. He had 20 points all year. All year. 9 games, he had 20 points. Tonight he's got 21. 1 game. 67-52, Tusculum with the lead against the Wolves. 3:42 to play in the game. It's a 21-point night for Trent Gibson, a 21-point night for Jacob Hobbs. As the ball knocked away by Ford, but out of play with 19 on the shot clock. Pioneers have gone up by 19. The lead has been trimmed to 9. That is as close as Newberry has gotten here in this second half. Newberry will add some defensive pressure. They only have 4 team fouls. Brown will pick up the foul. It'll be his second, team foul number 5. 3:28 to play. Gibson on the inbound in front of our location. Legist, he'll be fouled by Strimlow. So Strimlow will pick up his second. Again, McMalachi, he's solid last year. He gets that year back after getting a chance to play last year, free, basically. Gibson to inbound the basketball again. Again to Legist. Gibson with it. Ford making life difficult for Gibson. Gibson with it with 10 to shoot. 3:15 to play. Baseline right side, Legist. Back out to Gibson, a deep 3. That one is no good, but there's Brandon Mitchell with the second chance on the offensive rebound for the Pioneers. And then Mitchell, bear hugged by McCollum. And that will be the 7th foul. Now, again, not a bad foul. McCollum's going to pick up his second. It'll send Brandon Mitchell to the free throw line. He's recorded his 12th double-double. His rebounds good enough for 7th in school history, but he knocks home the first. Excuse me if I sound surprised. Oh, Kenny. Mitchell back for his second free throw attempt. Oh, he made them both, like he's a 100% free throw shooter. 69-52. Ford will pick up the basketball, carried into the front court. Onto the baseline around Gibson. Pass is deflected and stolen by Legist. You know, they may not be the most athletic kids, Legist and Trenton Gibson, but, man, their basketball IQ is just through the chart. Legist from the foul line, fakes it, drives it, misses it, but draws the foul. Legist just so smart. Right at the foul line, driving it on McCollum to pick up his 3rd foul of the contest. And it'll send Anadi Legist to the free throw line. So Anadi, a 71% free throw shooter, sophomore out of Fort Lauderdale. Of course, he has that year back. He's truthfully just a freshman. Legist making the first. Into the game will come Devario Shepard. And he'll enter for Brown. 16 points for Brown tonight. On 6 of 13 from the field. Also 5 rebounds. Legist made them both. He has 4 points. The Pioneers have moved it back out to 19. Shepard, right side. Bedford, top of the key. Drives it down the lane. Out to Stremlow. Stremlow, watched by Legist. With 2:30 to play in the game. Ford at the top of the keys. Picked up here by Brandon Mitchell. Shepard, right wing 3, is airballed. Legist battling for the rebound, and it's simultaneous possession out of play off Legist, I think. That ball was airballed. So 10 seconds remain on the shot clock. Vetter will be into the game. Pioneers on a 12-2 run trying to close out this game, where Newberry's won for their last 8. It's really been a game of runs. Stremlow right to the rim and banks it in. 71-54 Tusculum. 2:15 on the clock. And the final home game in the pre-Christmas schedule. The Pioneers will be back home on January 5th. They'll take on the Wingate Bulldogs. Again, it'll be fresh on their mind, that stinging loss on Saturday at the Cuddy, dropping them out of first place in the league. Hobbs with Vetter. Vetter slipping to the floor, and it's going to be turned over. Newberry's going to come up with the steal. Ford into the front court. Shepard on the baseline. They bounce it to Stremlow. Stremlow against Legist is blocked by Legist, but he gets it right back. Stremlow then shoveling it off to Bedford. Bedford, and the pass to McCollum wasn't quite ready for it. He does save it before it goes out of play. Bedford, he'll take a three over Gibson, short, and the rebound comes out to Ford on a double team. Man, that one would have gone. It doesn't. It's rebounded by the Pioneers. That was going to be miraculous by Ford going up against the juggernaut double team inside of Legist and Vetter. A minute 10 to play. The Pioneers comfortably lead 71-54. That number is 60 for Coach J.T. Burton as well. He's been very good at keeping people under 60, and especially here at home. A Pioneer team has just been great. Trenton Gibson driving it right down the lane and right to the rim, and he'll put it up and in. And the Pioneers lead at 73-54. And here's a foul as Shepherd will go to the free throw line. And it is the home court advantage. Tusculum has a 12-game home winning streak. They did that last year, February to March, the second longest in program history. They had won 12 straight regular season home games before they lost to Queens last year. The longest home winning streak in school history is 17. They did that back in 78 to 79. So it's been a while. So when you talk about just winning streaks, but Pioneers here at home have been very, very good. Shepherd at the stripe is good, but Coach Burton, and when he holds somebody under 60 points, his Pioneer teams have been very, very good. As a matter of fact, he's held an opponent under 60 11 times. And yeah, you guessed it. The Pioneers are 11-0 when they hold somebody under 60 points. So the Pioneers get a timeout to sub. Mason Bierster will check into the contest. My boy Kobe Funderburk is in from Charlotte, North Carolina. That kid came in last year and just started throwing threes down from everywhere. I think he made his first 17 threes of the year. He beat Wingate single-handedly off the bench, and nobody knew who he was. Funderburk to Scott. Malachi Olden is in from Morristown East High School. Bierster. Funderburk. Here's Zach Dixon. Funderburk, 5 to shoot. Funderburk, he'll take a three. Oh, he rarely missed one. Yeah, he missed it all, though. But it was contested by Bedford, so we'll give him some credit there. Well, we talked about Kobe, and again, he emerged as a deep threat last year. It wasn't 70, but he went 4 for 4 from against Wingate in his first, and then he opened up going 5 for 5 against UVA-Y. So again, he hit his first 9 of his career. It's pretty impressive. Shepherd scoring for Newberry. 8 seconds to play in the basketball game, and the Pioneers are going to win it, and they're going to defeat the Newberry Wolves. A 73-57 victory here tonight against the Newberry Wolves, and the Pioneers will win it. The Pioneers win as they knock off Newberry here tonight from Pioneer Arena behind a career-best 21 from Jacob Hobbs, and just another 20-point night for Trenton Gibson, a 23-point effort for him tonight. Coming up, our Pioneer postgame with Pioneer coach J.T. Burton. For all our Newberry faithful, if you want to get a complete wrap-up of this, you can visit on either website, Newberry or Tusculum, and get the final stats and the final numbers. If you're breaking away from us now, we appreciate you tuning in, and we'll see Jimmy Coggins down the road when the Pioneers will come down to Newberry on February 5th. That'll be our next trip when we come to Newberry, South Carolina, and hopefully to much warmer weather than what we'll experience here this winter here in East Tennessee. But thanks to you guys. Coming up, our Pioneer postgame with Coach J.T. Burton and our player of the game, Jacob Hobbs. That's all coming up. Your final score was Tusculum 73, Newberry 57, as you've been listening to Pioneer Basketball on the Pioneer Sports Network.